Hey everyone, this is Sonal and welcome back to my channel Swagitarius. अगर आप नए हैं तो there's nothing interesting to know about me, and if you have been a loyal subscriber all these months, which is basically 2 months now, then you do not know anything about me, so it's a win-win case for me. Anyway, this video is going to be a sort of an informational video. Informational सही word होता है क्या? This video is going to be an informative video. I'm still not sure if I use the right word, but I hope you understand. In this video, I will be talking about the basic concepts of photography. Not that I'm a great photographer myself. I'm just an amateur, but I have been clicking photographs since 2008, and over the course of years, I have been learning different types of photography, different concepts of photography, the compositions that you require, and not that this is the only photography video you'll find on YouTube or anywhere on the internet. ऐसे बहुत सारे videos मिलेंगे, but I just thought of sharing my experience and my knowledge with you guys. Let's get started. If you were to divide a photograph into a 3x3 grid, you can spot 4 major intersections towards the center of the grid. According to the rule of thirds, if the subject is placed anywhere along these 4 intersections, it will receive more attention from a viewer and it's more visually aesthetic. Now, most cameras and cell phones today have the option of activating a grid line. So if you're not comfortable visualizing your subject along a specific grid point, then you can always switch the grid option on, and you can easily see where your subject is placed on that grid line. Next up, we have the golden ratio. Although the grid for the golden ratio might seem a bit difficult, it's actually pretty much basic maths. जो ना कि मुझे आती थी ना ही आएगी. Anyway, moving on from my past and present woes. As already mentioned, the golden ratio is pretty much simple maths. To be more specific, the Fibonacci series. Now, the concept of the golden ratio is to lead the viewer through a series of elements throughout the various grid lines before eventually spiraling to a tiny part of the grid where the main subject is placed. Now, although the photograph is filled with various elements apart from the main subject, all of them are arranged in a way so as not to distract or so as not to feel haphazard for the viewer. The golden ratio works amazing in case of spiral staircases, but having said that, if clicked in the right way, the golden ratio also works with a lot of other subjects. In case you want to edit a photograph based on the golden ratio dimensions, a lot of editing apps, including Photoshop, have the option of cropping a photograph based on the golden ratio. कुछ ज़्यादा ही golden ratio use कर दिया मैंने, sorry. For negative and positive spaces, there's no set grid line or framework that you need to follow. So that's one amazing thing about this concept. Coming to negative space, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Negative space is the space filled with all the negative people in our life. I'm not even sorry for this joke because it's a Monday and दिमाग काम नहीं करना. Anyway, negative space is the space that surrounds the subject of your photograph. The good thing about negative space is that it compels the viewer to take a rather detailed look at the subject. The downside is that if the negative space is not used properly, it has the power of overshadowing the actual subject. Now, coming to positive space, it's the exact opposite of negative space. Positive space is the space that is occupied by the subject of your photograph. Now, a common misconception is that when you are clicking photos using the negative and the positive spaces composition theory, only a single subject needs to be in the frame, but you can actually use a number of elements to show how your photograph is framed. There's no set number of subjects that you need to allow into the photograph. Basically, it all depends on how well you balance the positive and the negative spaces, thus creating a photograph that stands out in the viewer's attention. So this concept does not necessarily require a grid line or a framework, so this is just for viewing purpose. And अगर आपके पास दिव्य दृष्टि है तो you can easily imagine कैसे जाएगा. Anyway, leading lines are a bunch of lines that lead the viewer to an eventual point of interest in the photograph. The line or the elements that form the lines can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or even curved, but the most widely used form is the vertical leading line composition form. Now, this concept is pretty much self explanatory and is the same as symmetry in real life. If you were to cut a photograph into two equal halves, each half should be the splitting image of the other half. If framed and shot perfectly, a leading line photograph can amazingly work as a symmetrical photograph. The kinds of symmetrical photographs include vertical symmetry, horizontal symmetry, radial symmetry, and reflective symmetry. So, if you have a problem in visualizing whether your subject falls into the symmetrical framework or not, you always have the grid to help you. So that was it, and कुछ ज़्यादा ही ज्ञान बांट दिया I guess. But I hope this helped you, and if you are starting out as a photographer or you just need to learn the basics of photography, I think you can use this video as a reference. And if you know someone who is into photography, who is starting out, or who is just an amateur, please feel free to share this with them. And if you like the video, you know what to do. अगर नहीं पता है तो like, comment, share and subscribe. तो पता नहीं कब मिलेंगे क्योंकि ये दिन तो कंजर जैसे जा रहे हैं. But until next time, bye. Hey everyone, this is America. Hey everyone, this is Sonal and welcome back to my channel Swagitarius. अगर आप नए हैं तो मेरे बारे में जानने के लिए कुछ है नहीं वैसे खास. And if you have been a loyal कस्टमर में क्या बेच रही हूँ भाई, सब्सक्राइबर होते हैं. Hey everyone, this is Sonal and welcome back to my channel Swagatarius. अगर आप नए हैं तो there's nothing interesting to know about me. If you have been a loyal, कौन कॉल कर रहा है भाई? Oh बहनचोद. Next up we have the